Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, if you're a business owner and you're thinking about exiting your company in the next few years, you're going to want to listen to this next segment. We'll be talking to two nationally known experts next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I'm a proud member of EO Dallas, that's Entrepreneurs Organization, and in the last few years, I've had the privilege of being a witness to several of my forum mates selling their company, and it was a successful exit because they had the right advisors, and that's why I'm doing this show right now. Joining me now, Al Fialkovich and Jess Fialkovich. They work together. They also have separate companies. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Jeff.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Let's start with you, Al. Tell us about Transworld Business Advisors.
So Transworld helps people buy and sell companies. So we focus on deals 50 million and less, but it's Main Street to lower middle market deals. And we believe that businesses are the backbone of America. So any friend of yours that has a company, we'll talk to them, regardless of pizza parlor or huge tech business, and we'll point them in the right direction if we can't help them out.
And Jess, you have the heart of an educator because you can't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to sell my company. There's a lot that goes into it. Tell us about your company.
Yeah, so my company, Exit Factor, was born out of my experience in the business brokerage and mergers and acquisitions world. But I did realize that most business owners actually do wake up one day and decide to sell their company. And unfortunately, that doesn't usually go well for them. It results in about 87% of businesses going out of business in America. Rather than having some type of successful exit or transition. So I created Exit Factor back in 2018, and it's a coaching and consulting company that helps business owners improve their profits, improve their efficiencies so that they can choose to exit on their own timeline and for the option that fits their company best.
Okay, much more from Jess and Al in a second. I found a wonderful video, Jess, that you made a couple of years ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Hello, welcome to this EO course on why you should prepare your business for sale today, not tomorrow. My name is Jessica Fialkovich, and I am a business exit expert. Like most EO members, my entrepreneurial spirit runs deep and started with watching my grandfather as a small business owner. My grandfather started a chain of pharmacies in the 1950s in Morrisville, Pennsylvania, after honing his craft on a sickbay in Pearl Harbor. As a very young girl, I would entertain myself for the afternoon at his first location. I walked in the door and I was instantly transformed to an era of my father's youth. Yes, it was a pharmacy, but so much more. I strolled up to the soda fountain bar, I took a stool and let my little legs dangle from the ground. My grandfather slipped behind the bar and he placed my favorite drink in front of me, a root beer float. And then he went back to work. He greeted customers who walked in, chatted with employees about their families, and meticulously organized the shelves in neat rows. He amazed me. I could barely figure out my math homework, and here he was remembering people's names, kids, even their dogs. He had such a sense of pride. He built this business for us, really for me. His goal was for it to last generations, and he never wanted to sell. But when my dad decided entrepreneurship was not his gig, my grandfather's dream was crushed. Chains like CVS had begun to pop up on every corner in our small town and create fierce competition for small businesses like my grandfather's. It lowered our margins and caused financial stress on our family. He was crushed because he was forced to sell to those big chains for pennies on the dollar. I could see it in his eyes. He had to be okay with it, but I knew something was wrong. What I didn't know then, but what I know now, is that selling at such a low price meant he felt like he sold out on his dream. He failed his family financially, and he worked for 40 years on something and had nothing to show for it. And that's why I have built this course, because I never want another business owner to go through what my grandfather did, feeling like they have to sell their dream for pennies on the dollar, so that you can go from selling out on a dream to having a dream to sell, from feeling like you failed financially to setting your family up for generations, and from working hard for years and having nothing to show for it to accomplishing the pinnacle of success in entrepreneurship. My grandfather's story is not unique. Most businesses close their doors or sell for way less than what they're worth simply because they don't plan ahead. I have built one of the top and fastest growing business brokerage firms in the United States, been honored by publications like Inc. magazine and the Financial Times. But for me, it's not enough. I believe in small business, and I believe that small business is the lifeblood of our economy and communities, and that every owner deserves that feeling of ultimate accomplishment and reward for what they have built. So in this course together, we're going to learn how to define your exit options for sale, how to control your financials to set you up for a successful sale, and how to become the owner of your business and increase the valuation. By the end of this course and this work, you will feel confident that no matter what your business future holds, your business can be sold at any time for maximum value. Please follow along with the support documents and complete each video and exercise in full. If you have any questions throughout the course, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, let's get started.
Just staying with you, there's a lot of emotion that goes behind selling a business. And you were telling me before the show that once the money hits the bank account, often people have regrets.
Yeah, it's crazy, but the data tells us 75% of entrepreneurs profoundly regret the sale of their business the day after.
Wow.
So there is this euphoria, like when you get a wire that hits your bank account for a few $1 million, everyone celebrates, right? Everyone celebrates, but there is an emotional tie to businesses that the owners have. They start to identify it as part of their identity, not just a role in their life. And so there is a lot of emotion. And I think sometimes as business owners and entrepreneurs, we don't address that emotion. We focus on the tactics, the objectives. We think business is, very non-emotional. But those emotions do cause us to make subconscious decisions that may negatively affect our business in the long term too.
So Al, when you're working with a business owner who's thinking about selling, are you preparing them for this possible regret?
Absolutely. So I'm just saying, what are you going to do next? Day one, what are you doing? When we sold our first company in 2012, we had that wire hit. It was awesome. We had a week of, champagne on the beach. And then after that, I was like, what's going on? Luckily, we found our purpose in M&A and helping other entrepreneurs do that. But we always have our clients think through that, because a lot of times they'll get to the finish line and won't want to do the deal because they don't know what they're doing next. So it makes it a lot more difficult, if you will.
Absolutely.
And people, just to comment on what Jess, people need to think about their businesses as an asset and an investment versus their little piggy bank or something. So that's where a lot of that mindset will shift.
Yes. And Al, there was a great video made on you a couple of years ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
There's a great, vibrant small business community here. It's really, really fun. And a day is always different. Hi, my name is Al Fialkovich. I'm the managing director of Transworld Rocky Mountain. We help visionary entrepreneurs buy, sell, and grow businesses. I was very fortunate to grow up in a family business of entrepreneurs, and my dad owned a couple companies. We sold my dad's company, and I had no idea what I was doing. It is a challenging process. Business brokers can get you a lot more money for your business. I got a call from someone the other day. They had a business that makes about $1 million a year. They're just going to shut it down. They had about 30 employees, so then those jobs are going to go away. There's a better way to do it. I'm involved in every deal from an advisory perspective. We're just always throwing out ideas, and there's a lot of really smart people on the team. A lot of it's the emotional support. Call me when you wake up in the middle of the night and wonder what's going on, and you have this question that's just keeping you up. Just call me, and we'll talk about it. It's their whole families, and that's what's important to us. We're that opportunity to provide them that successful exit. I want to serve the thousands of small business owners in the next coming years. Keep the jobs, create more jobs, and grow our team. I just try to outwork everyone. This is our job, this is our livelihood. So the more people we can reach, the more impact we can make.
What I love about both videos is it really shows how much you care. I mean, this is not just a way to get a paycheck. It's really, you're a therapist. You're taking them through one of the biggest decisions they're ever going to make. Jess?
Yeah, it is. It's personal to both of us. I mean, we have different family stories that were positively and negatively affected by our family's exits or lack thereof, right? And so we know how it feels emotionally. We've sold our own businesses multiple times. We still get emotional in some of these deals. I can't tell you that we don't, right?
Sure.
So it is very personal to us. And I do believe that I think one of the core values that we both have personally and carries through to our businesses is the belief that small business is really the backbone of our country, right? And the SBA defines small businesses as any business under 50 million in revenue that provides like 99.5% of all companies in America. And if that segment doesn't exist, if that segment doesn't transition to the next generation, it impacts everything. Macroeconomics all the way down.
Sure. And the timing of this show is perfect because we're about to experience the greatest generational wealth passing on in history, right? And not every kid wants their mom and dad's business. So talk about that. Like when you're working with a family who wants to pass it on to the kids, but the kids aren't that excited about taking over this plumbing company. How do you deal with that?
You want me to take this one?
You can go ahead.
I would say 10% of the kids want the business.
13.
13?
It's 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still low. Yeah.
It's very low. And the kids have grown up around the kitchen table like we did, and they don't want to see the same struggles as their parents or what, even if it's a huge bit. There's some of these businesses, I'm like, wait, your kids don't want this? This is like literally insane. But it's just, they want to go pave their own path. And then we find an entrepreneur that'll buy it. If it's a baby boomer, for example, a lot of times they'll sell their businesses to millennials that are like their kids. But so it's really interesting. We were talking before the show.
Sure.
Baby boomers own like 1.2 businesses their whole life. Millennials are going to own 8.
Is that right?
So, and it's already starting to transact businesses that we sold 5-6 years ago. The millennials are saying, hey, I want to relocate from X to Y. I'm selling the business. They've doubled it or whatever. Like they've done some really interesting things with it, professionalized it. And we've had some really great outcomes with people.
And I have to imagine, I mean, the rapport that you're building with these families, you're helping them maybe create another exit down the road.
Yeah. I think, it's every entrepreneur's dream to be able to build a family legacy company, right? We were just talking about this. We have a 3-year-old, right? And he jokes, I'd love Bricks to take over our companies down the road. I'm like, well, we know too much, right? So we know that may not be possible, but you can create legacy in a different way, right? And you can create legacy through selling a company and creating a financial windfall for your children, the next generation, to really follow their passions. Like we always joke, and it would have been nice if my grandfather, his dad, had exited at the right time and we had a nice little trust fund that we could go start whatever business we wanted. We didn't have that, but there are families out there that can create that for the next generation. And so legacy might not look exactly like, our company's carrying on to Bricks and for 3 or 4 generations, but legacy might look like he wants to go start an art gallery and he's got the funding to do so, and he builds and grows that, right? And then creates a windfall for his children. So
how many years in advance should a company owner sit down with you before exiting?
Yeah. Well, you want to take your original answer, which is?
I said now. So I think not having a plan is the worst option because things can change very, very, very quickly in a business. A business isn't like a house. It's like where the hot water heater breaks, you call the plumber, you fix it. It's like something really bad can happen, catastrophic. Like we're dealing with some macroeconomic things right now that we haven't seen in a long time. So some businesses are affected by that. So I think just having a plan, and that doesn't mean you need to sell, but you should have a plan and your business will be worth more. It goes back to the asset, treating it like an asset versus a piggy bank.
Yeah. It's most business owners exit or sell their companies for personal reasons. So my joke is always that life is unpredictable. Humans are unpredictable. Entrepreneurs are very unpredictable, right? But the number one reason people sell is because of burnout. And 95% of the reasons people sell are personal reasons. So that's burnout, health issues, marital issues, unfortunately, sometimes illness or death. It wasn't because there was some plan put on paper and, okay, in 2028, I'm going to sell. That's not why they sell. But so the best time to start planning is the day you start your company to have an exit or a succession strategy. But if not, the next best day is today. You need really to get a good value out of the company a 7-year strategy. So if we look at like kind of a reverse timeline, it takes on average a year to execute your exit. So whether that means selling the company, if you're going to do a management buyout or an ESOP, even a family transition, it takes about a year for that to come together. Prior to that year, you need 3 to 5 years of good financial performance to maximize the value for your company. And obviously that's important if someone's going to buy your business, but it's also very important that if you're going to use any type of lending or financing to finance that transition, even in a family transition, there's usually a change of hands monetarily, and they want a bank to be that financier. So you need 3 to 5 years of good, solid financial performance. And then really you want to give yourself about a year or two ahead of that to really solidify the foundation. So you got 2 years there, 3 to 5 years in good historical performance, and then a year to exit. So you're somewhere in the range of 5 to 8 years is ideal. Obviously, not everyone has that amount of time, but that's ideal.
Okay, we've got a couple minutes left, so I want to give you both a chance to give final thoughts. We'll start with you, Al.
About
just final thoughts in general. Like if somebody wants to contact you, I mean, maybe their employees don't even know that the boss is thinking about selling.
Definitely don't tell your employees.
No, yeah.
So I think whether it's us or someone else, just start talking to an advisor about like what it even looks like and get a sense of what, if any, landmines are in the business. And like we have the growth consulting business because it removes due diligence booby traps. So your certainty of closing gets a lot higher. But just get an idea what the value is, and it's not what your financial advisor tells you it is. Like get an idea what the market is, what your deal will trade at, and it could be better or worse than what you think. But just take action, be proud of what you built, but don't hold on to it forever. We've been selling a lot of people's businesses for their estate recently because they're dying in their company, and it's like you can't take it with you. So it's like go spend the time with your grandkids and enjoy what you built.
All right, Jess, we'll give you the final word.
Yeah, I would just say that it really starts with information and just educating yourself about what is your business worth, what are your options. You should be aware of that at any given time. I mean, even we do this for a living. In our strategic planning annual meeting every year, we talk about what is our backup plan if something were to happen to us. We call that the succession plan, right? And what's our long-term exit strategy plan? And we make sure we're aligned. Okay. And I think that's a good practice for every business owner to do.
Outstanding. You guys have been amazing. We'll have to have you back again soon. We're going to end with both of their websites. We'll start with Jess's website, which is exitfactor.com. And Al's website is tworld.com. Thank you both for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom.
Thanks for having us, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.